Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Malak Yahushua. And today, we're going to be showing you guys how to make unleavened bread. Alright, a lot of people might have questions on how do I make it, what's the recipe, what ingredients should I use. And this might be your first Passover, so I'm here with Caesar today. He's my personal chef. We learned a lot of things from his brother, and he's going to be giving us the sauce, the breakdown on how to make this unleavened bread, and we want to make sure it's enjoyable as well. So I got a precept. Right, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." So the Lord said you don't want to be ignorant in things that's great and in things that's small. This might be a small thing, right? It's not mentioned in the Bible what's the ingredients, how to put unleavened bread together. Right? The Bible doesn't teach you how to change a flat tire. So it's a lot of things that's outside the Bible that you might need so you could be able to keep the feast days or to move and prosper successfully in this world. Alright, I got another precept. Let's go to the book of Leviticus. Alright, let's go to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse number 6. It says, I'm going to start at 5. "In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread." So while you keeping the Passover, if you already kept it, or if you still have to keep it in the future, you have to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. So again, we're going to be showing you guys how to make it, and etc. Do you want to introduce yourself?
This is Brother Caesar, and I guess I'll be the one leading the tutorial. Before we go in, I have two, cautions or whatever about unleavened bread. It's pretty simple, so don't stress yourself thinking it's going to be a whole flour breakdown or something. It's just flour and water, just mixing it around, making dough. That's about it. But I guess we can get into it right now. Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you can show me how to do it, show me what you do.
Alright. Well, all we need really is, personally I prefer, if you're learning about it, I prefer you get a bowl or a pot, either or. Just so you can pour the ingredients and not make a mess out of it. Just in the future, if you feel confident, you can pour it simply on a clean tabletop and then put water in it. But yeah, that's about it. So we have the bowl, some flour. Personally, I use organic flour from Whole Foods just because it doesn't contain reduced iron. In my personal opinion, reduced iron kind of changes the flavor content of unleavened bread. And that's why I use this. But you can use any flour and it'll work just the same. So don't stress yourself about it. But yeah, that and then just some water just to mix in the dough with the flour and make the dough. But that's about it.
Alright, so we get into it.
Alright. Really, there's no exact measurements. It's just you get a feel for it of how much unleavened dough you want to make. So for me, I'm just gonna pour probably a fair amount, just a little bit, just because I'm gonna make a little bit. But that's about it. And I'll pour. Alright, talk to you. Okay.
So we just pour flour in here?
Yeah, just a little bit, just because we're making just a little bit, just to show y'all how to make it. So
That's good.
I say a little bit more. I'll say right there is good enough.
Alright.
And you just shake it around just to flatten it. There you go, it works. And then you pour, I'd probably say it'd be like a 3-to-1 ratio of water to flour. So
you don't want too much.
yeah, you don't want to make too much because you're gonna mess up the dough. You're gonna make it too watery, and then you're gonna have to pour more flour into it if that's the case. Then you have to put your hands in it. You're mix it around. I say you pour little by little, just because if you pour the whole thing, you're not gonna know how the dough is gonna react to it.
Okay.
So you pour little by little. That's about it, but yeah, that's basically it. And then while you're mixing it, what's it called? Once you start getting formation like this is when you're kind of getting close to it. Here, let me spread it out for the camera. When you're getting a texture like that, that means you're getting close to the right amount that you need. So I'm gonna still continue though.
You can add more flour to as well.
Yeah. If you feel like it's too mushy, that means you probably put too much water in it. So you could even it out by putting more flour in there. So it's completely fine since you're learning, but you know, yeah. Like right here, this is probably somewhat okay, but I think I'm gonna put a little too much water, so I'm probably gonna put a little, ever so little amount of flour back in there.
Teaching me the sauce.
And then once you get the dough, I feel like this is it already. Once you get like this texture kind of, you wanna zoom in on that. Get like that. You can start mushing it around. You just basically mash it around.
Press down on it.
Yeah. I forgot. You need the dough. There you go. That's the word.
You need it.
Yeah, you need it. Until it'll eventually get into the texture of, I guess, what you imagine dough is. So, yeah.
It's more sticky.
Yeah, eventually when you add enough flour, that's when you know it's enough, where it stops sticking in your hand. So you probably want to add a little more flour to them, just a little bit, not a lot. That's good, that's good.
So add enough flour to where it's not sticky.
Yeah. But regardless, your hands are still gonna get like pretty dirty. So yeah. And then really, it's just a matter of just kneading it. So it eventually.
So you always want to use like round bowls.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you could, as I said before, you could just pour it simply like all the flour in a tabletop. But if you're learning this, I'd recommend you use a bowl, just so you won't make a mess and like make the flour get stuck onto the table, and then you're just jamming up the table. So that's why I'd recommend you use a bowl or a pot.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I'll say 5 years.
Yeah, pretty decent. But I probably have to pour a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a cohesive piece of dough right there. I'd say that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Now I don't feel it. Now I feel like a good texture on the dough now. Yeah, I think your dough is pretty good now.
Okay.
It's you could call that basically done, like that. If you want to stretch it to them to give them an idea of how it would look like. Just see, they know how it looks like, kind of.
Maybe a little bit more.
I mean, it looks good, honestly. That's what I would say. But I mean, if you want to do that, yeah, like right now, this right here, this feels completely pretty decent. Yeah, I would say this is pretty good, because you don't see a lot of what's the word, I guess. It's not looking webby. The dough is not looking webby. It's looking uniform. That's what you want to see when you're making your dough. You want it to be uniform. When it's webby, that means it's probably because you didn't put enough flour in there. But when it's uniform, it means you're good. So honestly, I'd say this is pretty good. But I'm gonna finish it over here.
I think this is alright.
Yeah, I'd say that. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, yeah. Okay, so once you're done making it, as you can see with my hands, it's pretty jammed up. It's pretty, covered in flour and dough. So don't wash your hands. That is like making dough 101. Do not rinse your hands, because when you wet it, what's it called? You basically make the flour more sticky,
Right.
and it's gonna be completely stuck in your hand. So what people do is they simply just wash their hands with flour. Granted, I can't really demonstrate it because this bowl is really big, but you just literally wash your hands with flour and then try to get the flour off of you. As you can see, it's already clean. Palm of my hand. And use the flour.
So wash your whole hand or just really the tips?
Yeah. You do the tips too. If you really want to do the whole hand. If you need more flour, don't be scared. As I said, you're literally just washing your hands basically with flour.
It's a life hack.
Yeah. And then once you get most of it, because you want to get most of it off, then you can rinse your hands with water. And you can pick it off. The rest.
Alright, so while these brothers go wash their hands, I'm gonna roll them out.
Now we're gonna have to show them.
Huh?
We're gonna show them that too.
I'm gonna do that. Just.
Alright, what's the next step?
My brother's gonna take over.
So, all we're gonna do is roll it out. All you're gonna do is roll it out. Like my brother said, usually when I do it, I make the dough on the countertop because I have granite. But you can really do it on any countertop. It doesn't really matter. But so just you want to lightly dust the countertop. That's good. This is probably good for like 2 pieces. You want to try 2?
Yeah.
This is good.
So just rub it together.
No, just make a little ball.
Okay.
So just, get one side. We're gonna make. It's cool if I make 2 types of unleavened. It's simple, same thing though.
Yeah, it's cool. Just show me the
Simple one.
the secret recipe. The one that's good.
What did Caesar break down? The flour?
Yeah.
That's really it, to be honest. You just want to use a high quality ingredient.
Like this, that's cool.
Yeah. I might roll it out right now. But really, you just roll it out with the circle. This gotta be perfect.
I don't think I've never used one of these.
Oh, hold up, damn, stick on. You gotta hit the dust. You gotta dust everything because it will stick.
All right. Good. Oh, yeah, it's good.
You set to the side. And the next all you gotta do is pretty good. We just gotta fry it. I mean, you could bake it too, but I find frying is easier.
back again with the second part. We're gonna be frying and finishing up the recipe to the unleavened bread. Here with Brother Shamar, another one of my personal chefs as well. So we can get right into it.
Now we're just gonna start up the heat. Put it on a low for right now. Now, chiefly you would want to use coconut oil, organic and cold press, just because it's higher in unsaturated fats, and so this is better for your health, because if you use vegetable oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, and it's arguable even with olive oil, as far as heating it up, you oxidize the fats inside the oils, and it creates free radicals within the body. So it's just, I mean, don't stress it out if you can't do it, but
You want
chief, you want to use coconut oil,
Okay.
just because it's higher in unsaturated fats, so it's gonna oxidize less quickly and create less free radicals in your body as you heat it up. So now when we got that warming up, letting it melt, we're gonna go back to the unleavened. Make sure everything's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna show you 2 different ways how to do it. I'll show you 2 different ways how to do it. I'm gonna show you the complicated way first, I guess. So you wanna hit this with a little bit of oil, put a layer on top.
Pure coconut.
Then you want to roll this up, make a pinwheel. Oh no, you don't gotta do that.
Okay.
That's the normal. And you just want to make a pinwheel.
Which version is this?
It's just gonna be flaky. It's because this one is uniform when you make it. You'll see when at the end products why I do it like this.
It's like a biscuit.
It's gonna be flaky instead of just kind of like.
Alright.
It, and you want to put this back on the heat. Put it on medium for right now. That's it. You just gotta wait till it fries up.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna talk a little bit more about the ingredients. I mean, really, I know brothers like to do things to the bread. You don't necessarily, the way I do it. All I do is I just go with high quality ingredients. So I just have land salt. I use land salt or sea salt, because you don't want to use iodized salt just because it's synthetic. It's actually not that good for you. My brother actually knows a little bit more, and hopefully I'm breaking this down correctly. But he basically says that with iodized salt, when it enters your bloodstream, it's just not good. Let me get a real quick.
So I see everything basically 365 with that whole boards.
Yeah, it's high quality. I try to go as high quality as I can. But what happens with iodized salt? You want to break that down?
So you can basically think of ionized salt as basically it being burnt to a very high degree. So that's why you kind of like don't really see any like burnt marks on it, because it's just to such a high degree. But anyways, why I would say that it's bad for you is because due to that, it kind of destroys its structure. So it's basically unnatural. So when it enters your bloodstream, your body doesn't know really how to react to it. So in turn, it basically literally explodes in your blood veins, destroying any red blood cells or whatever contents you have in your veins at that time. So that's why I recommend it.
So strictly you want to go with either land salt, like Himalayan, or sea salt. And really you can go with any land salt. It doesn't necessarily got to be Himalayan, but one of those two. Alright, so. I mean, you can really use whatever you want, but I find tongs the easiest. Just because, you know, it's that chill as you can get hold of everywhere. You don't want tongs.
Any specific time you want to wait till you flip it?
No, I mean, just once you get like a good browning on one side, I know people are used to like, you know, certain measurements and, you know, having cups. But you know, as time goes on, as you make it, I would say you get a better feel for what you're working with. So I mean, no, just, you know, as long as you're getting a good browning on one side, it's when you start to flip it. But right now, it's still too early.
Alright, we're back. Final touches.
So pretty much, you know, got everything I'll say. You know, that's what you're looking for. You don't want to burn it. But then I like to hit it with the salt at the end so that it stays. Hit it with some salt. Now that's the special way to do it. That's pretty much it though. And then I'm gonna put, just because we're gonna show you how to make the other regular bread, we're gonna add the extra step. Just add a little more extra oil. Yeah, come on, let's just show you what doing what I did does to the bread. Okay, go ahead. Crispy. Turn this out.
Man, it's hot. See, I don't like eating hot food. Ooh. All Alright, so what's this?
Same. It's it's again I go high quality is whenever I can with my ingredients. This is can't pronounce it. Manuka honey. It's basically raw and unpasteurized. Basically, when you pasteurize anything, or even homogenize, the honey that we get at the supermarkets, 9 times out of 10 they homogenize it and they pasteurize it. So when they do that to foods, it basically destroys whatever it is that you're putting under that pressure and that heat on a molecular level. I mean, even with, like, for example, like milk, when you pasteurize or homogenize milk, the fat globules on the fat end up damaging our gut lining. So same thing with honey. When you homogenize and you pasteurize the honey, it's just not good for you.
Okay.
It damages your gut lining. So that's why I go with raw and unpasteurized.
Okay. So just spread this on there.
Come on. And just to show you what doing what I did does to the bread. Can you get in here real quick? It kind of makes it flaky. You get layers. That's what that does to the bread when you do it like how I showed you.
Try this.
But you gotta put more honey than that. Go ahead.
And it sounds slight. It sounds slight.
I'm gonna throw the next bread. This is just rolled out bread, just regular. And it's still good regardless, so you don't gotta do what I did. That's it.
So with that, that's how to make unleavened bread. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for His mercy. So we're gonna say shalom. Alright, we're back. Final touches.
So pretty much, you got everything I'll say. That's what you're looking for. You don't want to burn it. But then I like to hit it with the salt at the end so that it stays. Hit it with some salt. Now that's the special way to do it. That's pretty much it though. And then I'm gonna put just because we're gonna show you how to make the other regular bread. You're gonna add the extra step. Add a little more extra oil. And let's just show you what doing what I did does to the bread.
Yeah, show it to me first. Look this part. Come back.
You want to do fours? Okay, go ahead.
Pretty crispy.
Give it a shot.
Man, this hot. See, I don't like eating hot food.
Ooh.
Alright, so what's this?
Same. It's it's again I go high quality is whenever I can with my ingredients. This is can't pronounce it. Manuka honey. It's basically raw and unpasteurized. Basically, when you pasteurize anything, or even homogenize, the honey that we get at the supermarkets, 9 times out of 10 they homogenize it and they pasteurize it. So when they do that to foods, it basically destroys whatever it is that you're putting under that pressure and that heat on a molecular level. I mean, even with, like, for example, like milk, when you pasteurize or homogenize milk, the fat globules on the fat end up damaging our gut lining. So same thing with honey. When you homogenize and you pasteurize the honey, it's just not good for you. It damages your gut lining. So that's why I go with raw and unpasteurized.
Okay. Just
And just to show you what the what doing what I did does to the bread. Can you get in real quick? It kind of, you know, makes it flaky. You get layers. That's what that does to the bread when you do it like how I showed you. Try this. But you gotta put more honey than that. Go ahead.
It sounds slight.
I'm gonna do the next bread. This is just rolled out bread, just regular. And it's still good regardless, so you don't gotta do what I did.